Round 4 of the SuperGP Champions Trophy at Red Star Raceway is proudly brought to you by Dio and their associate sponsors. Welcome back to Red Star Raceway. Everybody far and wide and enjoying all the action via the live streaming on dio.tv, SuperGP Champions Trophy Facebook page, and supergp.co.za. Great to have you all here with us at Red Star Raceway. We are just outside of Johannesburg and in the town of Delmas at the Red Star Raceway, the home of motorcycle racing, a purpose-built motorcycle circuit here in Mpumalanga, and looking forward to the second race here of the day for the premier category in South African motorcycle racing, the SuperGP. On pole position this time will be Clinsella. He's managed to turn things around here in his second fastest lap of qualifying yesterday, and it'll put him onto the pole position. But as you can see, activity down on the grid, and riders making their way out onto the circuit now with our youngsters from the Super Juniors and 250s making their way back to their grid positions. Rob Portman will be joining me. I'm Greg Maloney. If you haven't joined us already, a big welcome to you all. He'll be down on the grid trying to catch up with some of the riders, see what potential changes have been made to a few of the teams, because there were some riders that were just off the pace and may just need a little tweaking here and there to ensure that they can get to the front end. One man to certainly watch out for in the second race, and they'll be searching and hunting the hardest for a podium, will be Alan John Fenter on the Lacquer Racing Hygienica Yamaha. Dylan Barnard is one of the first riders to the grid as well. And as they come up onto riders coming through here, Garrick Flock, our pole man from the first race, a bit further down in race 2. And after a crash, is certainly going to be looking to make up lost ground. He was leading a good probably 2.5 seconds and unfortunately lost the front end of his Yamaha. The Diamond Core Drilling and Shop 74 Yamaha going out all on his own. Alan John Fent will be starting from that second row. You can see him fired up. He got a great start from that particular position in race number 1 and actually hole-shotted into turn number 1. So potentially going to be looking for the same kind of thing here in race 2. As the rest of the field take up their positions, we'll keep an eye out on Greg Kildenace on the transport.co.za. Murdoch's Auto Body Kawasaki ZX-10RR. He is the third bike on the front row and definitely has potential of taking a victory here if they've got everything sorted out. Down on the grid, Rob Portman standing by and going to take us through a couple of interviews with some of the riders on the grid.
Right, on the third row of the grid here now with Darren Upton. Darren, a great start in race number 1, had good pace at the early stages of the race, but like everyone, just suffered a little bit with the tyre wear.
Yeah, it's a problem we have, especially us, for some reason. We lost 6 laps and the tyre just destroys itself. So, yeah, we need to hang in there for longer with the front guys.
But you got new rubber fitted now for race number 2, so you're hoping track temperatures picked up a little bit, but still windy and cold out there. So same game plan, just go as fast as you can from the word go.
That's it. We've made a few changes, hopefully for the tyre to last longer. Everyone's on new rubber, but the tyre needs to last.
Well, that's Darren Upton. We're going to go a little bit further up the grid here now. We're going to catch up with AJ Fenter from the Hygienica Lacquer Racing Stable. AJ, it's been a good weekend for you guys and your team so far. Johnny Cricker on the podium on the top step, whole shot in race number 1, finish the weekend off, get on the podium.
Yeah, Robbie, we've made quite big changes now from the first race to the second race. We found something we didn't expect. But yeah, the team's gone well. Hopefully I can come back and, you know, join my teammates and get at least a podium.
Well, there you have it from AJ Fenter. We've got Clinsella on pole position. Carrick Flock, great to see him after his race 1 crash, lining up in second place. Greg Kildenace on the Kawasaki. We know the pace that he's got to potentially get ahead of the Yamaha riders. But it's race number 2 action here of the Super GP. We're about to go live.
Yes, we are. Can you believe it? We're going to go live again, Rob Portman. I appreciate that. Although we've been live for about 3 minutes now. The excitement on the grid coming from Rob Portman is always great to see. And good to see a little catch up with some of the riders who potentially could spoil things for the usual contenders in Super GP Champions Trophy racing. Clinsella, as you heard, on pole position and looking for a chance to potentially take a double victory here today. Alongside him, Garrick Flock. Flock will definitely want to turn things around after race 1 and going down and crashing out and having to fight from the back of the field and spoiling his chances of a podium there for the Diamond Core Drilling and Shop 74 Yamaha. Greg Hildenace definitely wants a win. The Kawasaki man, and if they've got everything sorted out, like I know Nodi Krunen would have maybe done, very good possibility of him getting onto the top step of the podium. Alan John Fenter already hole-shotted. You've heard from him what he's going to be doing about race 2 here. And as we go through the field, you can see also, good to see Brandon Good. Another fantastic effort there from him to be on the second row of the grid for the Linex Yamaha squad. As we head down the field, you can see riders about to start making their way around the track and about to get the whistle. And a couple of minute boards to go, probably the 5-minute board right now that's gone up, just to tell everybody to start making their way off the grid and to clear the way for the riders to do their warm-up laps here for race number 2.
Greg, if I could have R1 for every time I heard tire down on the grid, I'd be a millionaire. Everyone, of course, after race number 1 and throughout the day, stressing a little bit about tires, but remember, fresh, brand new Pirelli rubber, pretty much on all the machines on the grid. And Lance Isaacs, chatting to him earlier, he just wants to make the best of what has been a hard weekend. The BMW just unfortunately not working too well around here. Also look at David McFadden struggling on that BM. So Isaac said he had good pace. He could have potentially beaten Brandon Good and Darren Upton ahead of him, but he just said to get past those guys, to pass around the Red Star circuit, even though there's so many turns, people say, why do guys say it's hard to pass around Red Star when there's so many turns? Those turns aren't the widest turns, and it's so easy to close the line. So Isaac's fortunately just batting a little bit. You can see Dave McFadden with a brand new Pirelli tire front and rear on. SC2 front, SC1 rear, in case anyone wondering. Tire pressure on the warmer, so at full potential heat. They run the rear tire at about 1.5, 1.6 hot now in these conditions, and the front at about 2.3, 2.4. So any track day rider out there thinking what tire pressures these guys run, that's it. Traction control set on 1 to 2 for a couple of the riders. I know the Yamaha riders run traction control on 2. Slide control on 2, wheelie control on 1, power modes obviously on 1, so those for the different bikes. So really a lot of electronics to play with, not just all about how fast you can go. Some of these riders set up maps for different parts of the race. They've got a map for fresh tire, so less traction control, use the tire a lot more, and then of course as the traction wears down, they put it on map number 2, simple switch of a lever on the handlebar, and then you get into your second mode or your second map, which is set up for the second part of the race. So not just about how fast your rider can go, it's also the team and how you set your bike up that is so crucial. So speaking to a couple of the guys, not only on the grid now, but before the race, it is, especially around Red Star here, you're on that side wall of the tire for so long. It's all about trying to get the bike stood up and on the center part of the tire as quickly as possible.
And that's exactly what these guys are going to try and do now. Put all of that information into the best use possible to take a win here at round 4.
Someone's got to beat Sella.
Well, potentially. And there's a couple of riders who can. And we've already seen him fall to the clutches of Greg Hildenace. Lance Isaacs also looking for a chance to be at the top, but probably not today.
Garrick Flock.
Garrick Flock, Upton, Linex Yamaha.
Fenter, Michael White.
Yeah, Brandon Good.
Yep.
They're all there. They're all got a chance. And it's literally that pack of riders that we're following right now that could potentially be the top 3 on the podium after this second race in the day. And also, we need to keep in account, are we going to see a rider of the day come out of this group of riders, or are we going to be handing it across to potentially William Friend or even Luca Bologna?
Yeah, 100%, because those have been tremendous rides that we've seen here today. But race number 1 was one of the better rides that we've seen in Super GP. Kailami was absolutely epic, and Red Star just continued that trend. And going into race number 2 here, it's all exciting, but someone has got to get ahead of that bike number 3, the Maiway Yamaha, because at the moment he's just stretching away from the championship lead. Greg Hildenace had the pace to do it in race number 1. Unfortunately, couldn't get past the guys. And race number 2 now, if he can get a good start and get ahead and just leave him and the likes of Michael White and Clint Sella, we could potentially be seeing. But like you see, fresh Pirelli rubber fitted, and we're about to go racing.
Watch for those heads to go down. As soon as we get into the crouch position, we are good to go. There we go. 5-second board is up. Lights about to go on and off. As soon as they do go off, we head down to turn 1. It's not such a good start this time from AJ. He has to follow Clint Sella down into turn 1 and actually might have to follow Garrick Flock too. Around his outside comes Upton. Little touch between Upton and Fenter. Fenter going to have the inside line for the second flick over, and he just manages to keep Upton out. No, Upton around the outside. like a trailer park girl and takes the 4th position away there from, well, there's 2 trailer park girls involved in that, but it was only one of them at the moment, and that was Upton. Upton hangs on and just keeps out AJ Fenter down into turn 3.
Not a good start at all for Michael White. He's behind Brandon Good and Morne Geldenhuys. So Michael White, I say our 3rd place man, 2nd place man from race number 1, not to start, but this is the start that Greg Geldenhuys needed. He just needs to leave himself with Clint Seller, and he could potentially get ahead of the My Way bike. But Carrick Flock, he wants to make amends for his race 1 disaster. Remember, led the race, first man into the 51s before he unfortunately crashed out in the right-hand hairpin. Darren Upton, a much better start. You heard from him on the grid. It's about the tyres. You've just got to go and just hope that the tyres can last. Made a few changes to the bike, so let's see if he can hang in there. Lance Isaacs trying to make a move on the inside there of Michael White, not able to make it stick. So the BMW rider still not where he wants to be, but at least ahead of the likes of Nicholas Kershaw there behind him, and Dave McFadden right on his tail along with Dylan Barnard.
Upton had a big look. Flock closed the door. Kawasaki versus Yamaha. Kawasaki versus Yamaha, kind of 1, 2, 3, 4 as it stands. And just behind them, it's 2 Yamaha riders.
Yamaha.
Yeah, in fact, 3 Yamaha riders with Geldenhuys in there as well. So Morne Geldenhuys just on the back end there of the top 9. 10th place, it's Michael White. 11th is Lance Isaacs. Behind Lance Isaacs, just trying to pick up on that next rider. McFadden, that's who it is. 2nd BMW, right on Isaacs' tail. So 2 Cape Town-based riders, both on the BMW S1000 RRs, and 11 and 12 on track.
Right, let's see now. From a standing start, it is Clint Seller. A much better start than he had in race number 1. He'll come across the line, leading lap number 1 here. A 55.8 from a standstill start. Greg Geldenhuys in 2nd, 56.4. Geldenhuys trying to make a move there on Brandon Good. Is he going to go? Look at Morne Geldenhuys using a little bit of track knowledge and shoves it on the inside of Brandon Good and makes that move. Think, oh, Brandon Good looks like he missed a gear maybe coming out there, and Michael White able to put his consortium shipping Yamaha ahead of the Linux Yamaha.
Now, looks like he might have been able to make it stick as well. Yes, he's got through. Brandon Good tucks in behind him and into the clutches of Lance Isaacs on the Superbets BMW. And you can see just how hard Lance Isaacs is having to work here this weekend. But it is all about damage control. How many points is he going to lose here to Clint Seller, and how much can he just regain by ticking one of them one by one? Not going to be easy for him to do, because we've already seen how that BMW has battled here around the Red Star Raceway.
Good start further down in 12th place. Temba Kamala, Nick Kershaw 13th. Johnny Cricker, what a weekend it's been for him, up into 14th. He leads out in the Masters ahead of Justin Gillison and Bo Levy. Unfortunately, Heinrich Reder had to pull out of race number 1, and some problems there still because he's down in 18th place. But look at Morne Geldenhuys. He's now right onto the tail end of AJ Fenter and looking to make an attack, as Darren Upton also looks to get ahead of Carrick Flock. But at the moment, Clint Seller pulling out a little bit of a lead, but Greg Geldenhuys, I don't think will be too fussed about that. He knows it's a very long race here. 15 laps is a long time, especially on these tires that we know are going to get a little bit dicey towards the end of the race.
And we heard that from him in the interview. On the podium, he was saying, you know what, I've got a setup on my bike that's going to make me able to get to the end of the race with some decent rubber still left on the bike. And even if Clint gets away, has he got the same management system that's going to allow him to hang on and be able to be competitive when we get down to the last 5 as opposed to the first 5?
Yeah, like I said, it's all about the electronics as well. Very much modern day, these bikes. All about the electronics, how you've got it set up, how it can manage the tire. The R1 seems to be the preferred bike around the Red Star circuit. It's just able to handle the tire wear and the amount of time that the tire spends on the side of the wall a little bit better than most. Here comes Morne Geldenhuys. Is he going to do a move? No, he's not going to do it there on AJ Fenter. Gets so close. Oh, man, if there was a... Oh, yeah, AJ saw that.
He knows
how close
they touched tires there. I'm telling you right now, there was some tire touching between the two of them. That's why AJ looked back and went, hey, what's going on behind me here?
Yeah.
64 and 34. Garrick Flock and Greg Geldenhuys, 2 of the tallest riders in the paddock. In fact, probably the tallest rider in Garrick Flock.
Yeah.
And potentially going to be fighting here with... Well, it's not an easy bike to get past in Greg Geldenhuys, but Greg Geldenhuys maintaining a decent 51.8. 51.4 out of Seller.
Oh, man. The top
his
4
fastest
riders.
Last year was a 51.8. So it's 0.4 of a second quicker. Potential new lap record there for Seller as well.
It just shows you the different race here. I remember the first race, we had AJ Fenter, Michael White, and those guys right at the front. At the moment, they're dicing, what is that, for 5th, 6th, and 7th place. So different just shows you how crucial it is to get a start here, because you've got to get to the front and stick with the leaders. Clint Seller's checking out of this race now on the My Way Yamaha. Greg Geldenhuys, a good 2nd place at the moment. Carrick Flock, Darren Upton with a much better ride this from Darren Upton, but we saw it in race number 1. He's got good pace at the beginning of the race, but unable to maintain it towards the end. It's all about getting your tires to the end We saw it in race 1. Clint Seller said it was like riding on a wet weather bike. That's how bad the tires got towards the end. Michael White said it was like being on an ice rink. And you could see those tires at the end of the race absolutely shredded because they work so well here. The SC1 Pirelli, for lap time wise here at Red Star, is the tire to have. It just grips to the surface so well that it just lands up tearing that tire, and that's ultimately what happens to these Pirellis here. But AJ Venter under massive pressure now from Morne Geldenhuys.
Across the line they go. Venter, now Michael White coming into that play as well. Watch Geldenhuys, he's good through here. He'll sneak onto the outside and then flick it over onto the inside. Not close enough to do it this time. And
so close.
I think there was another touch there between the two of them, to be honest. AJ's going, where are you trying to overtake me, bud? There's no room down there.
Darren Upton now coming down the back long straight. AJ Venter, this is the battle between the 3 Yamaha riders. It's AJ Venter, Morne Geldenhuys, and Michael White. The fresh Pirelli rubber definitely doing the job because Clint Seller, a 51.2 last lap out. Greg Geldenhuys in second there, 51.7. Carrick Flock, 51.6. So Carrick Flock definitely the man in the move. AJ Venter, 52.1. Michael White, 52 dead. Lance Isaacs, 52.5. So we can see the fresh Pirelli rubber definitely doing the job here. Look how they've closed on now, Darren Upton. So Darren Upton with the same problems that he had in race 1. Good early pace for the first couple of laps. But then unfortunately, Kawasaki just unable to maintain the same tire wear as the Yamaha bikes behind him.
Oh, and they're about to eat him up.
Yeah,
definitely. At the end of the straight, there's no doubt that we'll see a change up as AJ Venter gets into the slipstream. Comes up, not quite there yet, but definitely now in with a shot of just pouncing ahead. If he can get Upton between himself and Geldenhuys, it might give him a little bit of breathing room to close in on Garrick Flock just up the road.
Morne Geldenhuys. I don't know how close you want to ride to another rider, but he's literally right on the tail there of AJ Venter. Michael White just sticking in there, maybe just waiting for a little bit more heat to get in those tires for the setup to come to him, because he knows we know once he's comfortable, he can really put in some really fast laps. Around about half a second faster than what he's doing at the moment. So Michael White, our second place man from race number 1, not where he wants to be at the moment, down in 7th place. Just shows you how vital a start is here at Red Star Raceway. The guys talking about how hard it is to pass. Well, it's proving once again. A great shot there of all the fans that have come out. Literally the grandstand on top of the pit area there, jam-packed. And here comes Geldenhuys once again, right on the... I think AJ just keeps seeing that shadow and the little tap and just thinking, who is this guy that's on my tail? And just gives me a little tap.
Yeah, he's worried, I'm telling you now. And I would be too, because Geldenhuys means business here. AJ on the inside, that's exactly what he needed to do. Good timing. Just get into the dog bone section, use the Yamaha's ability, and potentially Upton's ability to hold the pack up and give him just a bit of breathing room to get away from Morne Geldenhuys.
Mistake there from Darren.
No, that's tires.
Yeah, Darren's struggling. Darren is definitely now struggling as he flicks it into the left-hander now. Michael White and Morne Geldenhuys got through on the Kawasaki rider. And Lance Isaacs on the BMW, not too far behind that. So Lance Isaacs now starting to come into his own. And a 52 dead last time out from Lance Isaacs. So that's his fastest time almost of the weekend there from Lance Isaacs on the BMW with those fresh new Pirelli tires. And he's got Brandon Good and Dave McFadden not too far behind him. So in a couple of laps time, Darren Upton could be a sitting duck for those riders behind him.
A bit concerned here as to what's happening here with Michael White. He's just not able to find a way through like Morne Geldenhuys is doing, and then AJ Venter. They managed to get through on Upton a lot quicker, but now he's got a huge gap to make up once he's got through on Upton. Upton going to fall into the clutches of Lance Isaacs for 8th place. Brandon Good just behind them, and then top 10 made up with Dave McFadden. And not a happy man down in 10th place, that's for sure. Multiple SA champion, and he's sitting in 10th place right now.
Yeah, definitely not where the Cape Town rider needs to be or wants to be. And we look further down, 8th, 9th, and 10th. McFadden, Good, and Lance Isaacs personal best laps last time out. Seller dropping into the 51.4 last time out. Geldenhuys though, and you still said it and saw it, that his rear tire looked the best out of the 3 bikes at the front. So while Seller's getting away at the front of this race now, there's still plenty of racing. What we got 10 laps remaining here at the 4.5K Red Star circuit. So still plenty of running to do. Good to see Garrick Flock looking really racy there in 3rd place. Just sitting behind Greg Geldenhuys at the moment, and maybe just going to wait till later on in the race to strike different lines there, going down the back straight on the inside. And AJ Venter pulling out a little bit of a gap now on the very out of shape there. Morne Geldenhuys going into the back section of the circuit. Michael White coming with him, and Darren Upton. It's only, like you said, a matter of time before Isaacs, Good, and McFadden are right on his tail.
Nice run from Temba Kamalo down in 12th place ahead of Nick Kershaw. He was actually talking to me at lunchtime saying that he was using Nick Kershaw for the first couple of laps to learn some lines from Nick. And Nick, of course, a seasoned campaigner in National Championship racing. Not good to see the Tsunami Beach bike machine down in 13th place, ahead of Justin Gillison. Gillison doing a great job there as well. And at this point in time, Gillison leads the Masters.
Yeah.
So Gillison, Kricher, and Levy. That's how it stands at this stage, with Gillison down in 14th, Kricher in 15th, and Pew Levy in 16th place. But Pew Levy and wow, it's only a second between him and Kricher, so look out for that little battle to the line.
And it shows you the pace. Those guys down in 14, 15, and 16, 57.3, so low 57 from those riders. Just shows you the pace here at the Super GP. It's incredible. Oh, Garrick Flock, the all-style, all-action Garrick Flock out of the seat once again. But looking a lot more smooth and comfortable than we've seen him in past races.
No, I don't know about that. I wouldn't say smooth and comfortable. That was like ripple.
That's Garrick Flock.
That was the ripple effect coming out of that turn. The back tyre was just crying no more and just started to rumble out of there. So I think he could be in potential traction losing ability.
Time for that B mode map is what you're trying to say.
Hit that B mode. Let's go to that second map and talk about if it works for the second half of this race. So across the line, after 6 laps completed, we got 9 to go. It's Clint Seller with a 3.5 second lead ahead of Greg Gildenace. In fact, it's now 2.8, so it's come down slightly. Greg Gildenace and Flock working together nicely, closing down on the potential race winner here.
Look at 4th and 5th. AJ Fenter, 51.7. Morne Gildenace, 51.7. So those two riders, if they keep that kind of pace up, they'll be on the back of this podium fight here between Gildenace and Garrick Flock. So AJ Fenter just bringing Morne Gildenace with him. Michael White, a 52 dead last time out, so incredible lap times there from 4th, 5th, and 6th. AJ Fenter, they said they got the setup a little bit wrong. I saw Martinez talking down to a couple of the mechanics down in the pits, and again, just talking about that tire pressure, shock length coming into play, all those little factors. Look at Lance Isaacs already ahead of Darren Upton, who's now sitting duck for Brandon Good and David McFadden behind him. So Upton, still a lot of work to do on that Kawasaki machine.
And could potentially be dropping out of the top 10.
Yeah.
Brandon Good has a look, doesn't quite make it stick, but into the Seller turn, and can he make it on the acceleration? He tries to go with the Kawasaki. They're pretty even in terms of straight line speed, and it's going to be the ability of the Yamaha to have managed its tires a bit better, and Brandon Good's ability to make sure that that happens, which will allow him through on Upton at some point in the very near future.
Just having a look then out front, Clint Seller still with that almost 3-second lead. They're going to come across the line any second now. This is Lance Isaacs, Darren Upton, Brandon Good, and Dave McFadden, as close as you like. So good to see Lance Isaacs. He said he got a little bit caught behind Darren, a little bit of a moment there for Lance Isaacs. So he uses a little bit of the rear traction. But he said in race number 1, he got caught behind Darren Upton just a little bit, couldn't find his way past the Kawasaki rider. So he'll be happy that he's managed to do that early on in this race and potentially close down on Michael White just ahead of him. But across the line, a 51.3 from Seller, 52.2 from Gildenace, 52.3 from Flock, 51.8 once again from AJ Fenter, who's definitely closing down now on the 2 riders ahead of him, and that is Garrick Flock and Greg Gildenace. If those 2 riders start getting to 50 cups, AJ Fenter, we were talking about it on the grid, potentially getting on the podium for the Laka Hygienica racing team, and that'll be a great weekend for that team.
Oh, and I can tell you Morne Gildenace would like to be there too. So if something does go wrong between Gildenace and Flock, there are 2 riders itching for their first podiums. As they head down into the Dogbone section again, the 34 bike there, Transport.co.za and Murdoch's Autobody Kawasaki ZX10RR fighting with the Yamaha R1. Diamond Core Drilling, Shop 74 and Furcore Construction helping that man out there. And Flock, this time, I don't think he's going to try and make a mistake. He made a big and probably one of the biggest mistakes he's made in that first one. He was in the lead of the race and chucked it down the road.
Nick Kershaw just put in his personal best, 55.7, as did Temba Kumalo, who he's battling with, 55.7. Justin Gillison, 56.8, and Johnny Kricker, 56.8. Incredible lap times there for my master riders. A little bit further down the field, fighting for the final point there is Johnny Kricker and Bo Levy in 15th and 16th place. But of course, remember, that is a master's battle as they go down there. You could see the lap times all the way through.
All under 2 minutes.
All under 2 minutes. Ferdinand Fredericks down in 19th place, a 58.5. Heinrich Reda, unfortunately, retiring once again. He's in the pit lane, so not a good weekend for, I think he was 2nd or 3rd in the Masters Championship. So he's losing vital points on the likes of Ferdinand Fredericks, Bo Levy, Kricker, and Neil van Lochenberg.
Nice thing about it, of course, with Hendrik de Bruin being here, and I hate to say that with Hendrik de Bruin not being here, but with him not here, all of a sudden, the potential of Johnny Kricker coming back into the championship, Gillison coming back into the championship, Heinrich's going to be a bit closer, even though he hasn't finished the races. It's just making this Masters Championship within the Super GP a lot closer for the last couple of rounds.
Michael White, second fastest rider on track last time out, 51.9. So he's got the hurry up. He's trying to find his way ahead of Morné Geldenhuys up into 5th place and potentially get onto the rear wheel of AJ. And this battle on track now between Carrick Flock and Greg Geldenhuys. Flock not able to make it stick there.
Magic Mike up ahead of Geldenhuys.
Yeah, there we go. Michael's made it stick. So Michael's got the hurry up. We saw it in race 1, and this is pretty much Michael White tactics. He's able, just at the beginning of the race, just to get himself comfortable. When he's comfortable, stick in those fast laps. But by the time he does that, the leaders are a little bit too far out of sight. But still plenty of racing to be done here. And plenty of tyre wear still produced. This is Darren Upton now. He's got David McFadden all over him. So Darren Upton, whatever setup they've got in that bike, they need to change, because in the opening laps, he shows he can run right at the front of the field. But towards, I mean, halfway through the race, he drops like a stone.
I'm incredibly impressed by the riding coming out of Flock here. He's
Yes,
a little bit
100%.
more mature here, and hopefully going to keep it all together for a potential podium. But Alan John Venter is the probably the thorn in the side. The way he's riding at the moment in the closing stages, 52.1 was his last one, 52 twos, threes, and 51s out of Seller. They're not going to catch Seller's pace, but second fastest man in that lead bunch is Alan John Venter, and he is hunting down a podium.
Yeah, Carrick Flock is literally on the tailpipe of Greg Geldenhuys, and he's been there the whole race so far. But look at AJ Venter. Within a couple of laps, he's now right there. The podium, he can sniff that podium. And you spoke to him earlier with Johnny Cricker, and you kind of gave him a little bit of flack and said, listen, how can your number 2 rider in the team be getting the podium and your number 1 rider not? So AJ Venter looks like he's listened to what you had to say, and he's now challenging, and Michael White's coming for the ride.
Listen, he said to me he's the fastest rider in the team, and he hasn't got a trophy
Single
yet.
trophy
So
this
now
year.
he wants one, and there's a very good
And
chance he's
they're
going to
nice
get it. Look at him.
trophies. Yeah,
he's right there, man.
No, he's right there.
Woo.
And
This
that
is gonna
last
be a
lap
three-way
again,
battle.
another 51 from AJ Venter. That's 4 laps in a row in the 51s. That's incredible pace. The only other rider to do that is Clint Seller.
yeah.
Michael White's done another 58, so that's 2 in a row, 51.8. That's 2 in a row for him. So he's definitely also now mounting a charge. There he comes in the shot, about 4 or 5 bike lengths behind. But we could have a battle, a 4-bike battle for second position.
Second place, that's what I'm looking forward to. And remember, we've only got 5.5 laps to go of this race, so we're getting into the final third of the second heat of racing here at Red Star Raceway. And it is all about Geldenhuys, Flock, and now Alan John Venter. And in probably a lap's time, Michael White will be there too.
AJ Venter, what a ride. And I think different tactics from race 1. Race 1, he kind of just got out the gates like a bat out of hell and went for it, and maybe just destroyed his tires a bit. This race took it a little bit slower, took it a little bit easier, and just let the tires get some heat in them, didn't cold tear the tire, and is paying dividend now because he's showing incredible pace. He's almost right now on the tailpipes of Carrick Flock. Couldn't make the move there, but it's only a matter of time now. And AJ showed that he can do it on the brakes down the straight. Look at this now. Brandon Goods caught right to the back of the BMW rider. Dave McFadden is now ahead of Darren Upton as well. So Upton, unfortunately, has got a little bit of a buffer ahead of Dylan Barnard there in 11th. But Upton, after a good start, down in 10th place now.
Look at the different riding style coming out of Greg Geldenhuys now. He's had to up the wick, and it's probably a little bit earlier than what he'd like to have done. He's now got big pressure coming from behind, and Flock realizes the pressure's there too. Alan John is back in the hunt, and Flock is now going to try and put some maneuvers on to get through on the 34 bike. 34 and 64 fighting for second and third place, and all of a sudden the 3.9 of Alan John Venter. Remember, that's a man who has won at the Isle of Man TT. He has won in the Isle of Man Manx Grand Prix on a classic motorcycle, and he now makes a classic move on the inside of Flock. Go, boy!
Where did you come from, AJ
There you go.
Venter?
Yamaha versus Yamaha, and just it compromises the drive, that line, but certainly Flock now knows he's in for a battle for the last couple of laps.
Yeah, we go on the brakes, down the back straight. AJ not able to make it stick there, but Michael White now, he's right in contention. So the 4-way battle that we were praying for is now happening on track. And let me tell you, from my racing experience with Carrick Flock, I used to ask my team to please make me a number 74 on my pit board. Because if I knew it was Carrick Flock behind me, I would just move out of the way.
He knew he was coming, yes, indeed. So, with 4.5 laps to go, Greg Geldenhuys, well, he's got to turn the wick up and he's got to go now. If he doesn't go now, those 3 Yamahas are going to eat him up. And we might have an all-Yamaha podium. There's a very good potential of that too.
Again.
This will be amazing.
Not the first time in Super GP. And at the Red Star circuit, we've touched on it the whole day. The R1s just work so well around Red Star. That's why the job that Greg Geldenhuys is doing just highlights what an amazing job to keep that Kawasaki where it is. look at Morné Caldenes. He's not out of this either, so potentially a 5-way battle for that. So Greg Caldenes, do not look behind you because you will get the fright of your life.
Yeah, just keep that arrow facing forward.
Yeah.
Don't look back into those 3 Shui and 1 aero helmet behind you. As they come out of turn number 10 into 11 and 12. And Flock's on the inside. Oh, Michael White as well. Yo, that's the way to do it. Just follow the line up front. Greg Caldenes shakes his head. He says, where is this guy coming from? The Wild Child is up to 2nd. Caldenes down to 3rd, and Michael White now in with a shot of a podium again. And if you give Michael White a sniff, he's going to give it everything he can to get there.
You know what made that so impressive from Carrick Flock? That's the corner where he crashed in race 1. So to have the confidence to still stick it on the inside of Greg Caldenes there, that's a lot of confidence from him. Here comes Michael White on the inside. Caldenes looking a little bit out of shape now.
Yeah, but hit the bump, and that bump, of course, is the one that you hit going into the straight if you come the other way around. Because remember, in 6 months' time, the circuit turns, a month's time, I should say, the circuit turns the other way around. They run 6 months this way, anti-clockwise, and 6 months the other way, clockwise. And right now, Greg Caldenes hit one of those big bumps that comes into the main straight. Magic Mark on the inside of Caldenes, and he's through. Greg Caldenes is starting to feel the pressure of those tyres starting to wear off.
I wonder if he's also battling. When you spoke to him, he said he couldn't select 4th or 5th gear. And down that straight there, I mean, the Kawasaki we know has got better horsepower than Yamaha. And Michael White got in the slipstream and was able to pull out. So Caldenes, I think, maybe still battling with those transmission issues on that Kawasaki machine, because he's gone from 2nd now down to 4th. And potentially down to 5th or even 6th, because AJ Fenter and Morné Caldenes are coming. So Caldenes, unfortunately now that Kawasaki and the tire wear, all the potential transmission problems are starting to pay dividend there on the Kawasaki machine. But Michael White, a couple of laps ago, he was in 7th place. He's now up into 4th position and potentially going for a podium.
Watch the gear change. There you go. You can just see the left foot on that motorcycle. Didn't seem to affect him there. He got to 4th gear on that one. So maybe it's the 4 and 5 on the slightly longer straight that he's battling. So as they come through now, turn 10, 11 and 12 coming up, and nothing in it between the Kawasaki of Greg Caldenes and the Yamaha of Alan John Fenter. Lacquer Racing, Hygienica team taking on Transport Totsura today and Murdoch's Autobody Kawasaki team.
Oh, we've got that Yamaha 1, 2, 3 that we were worried about, because it's Clint Seller, Carrick Flock, and Michael White now is up into that podium finish. So Kawasaki fans, unfortunately, Greg Caldenes just dropping down a little bit now into the clutches of AJ Fenter, and Morné Caldenes is straight back into this race. Caldenes last time out 53.8, so quite a bit slower than the rest of the field. Even Clincella out front has dropped now into the 53 dead. So just after the halfway point now, we expected the tyres to drop off a bit, and they have indeed. Johnny Cricker, having said that, just put his fastest lap of the race, a 56.5 there from Johnny Cricker, still behind Justin Gillison and just ahead of Bo Levy in the Masters battle.
Watch the concern from Greg Caldenes as he got onto the back straight. As they head down the N12, Alan John Fenter closes in again. Didn't seem to affect him too badly, the gear change there, so I think it's intermittent. He's able to get into it on some occasions, other occasions he doesn't get to it and has to redline the bike, which is not giving him the drive that was required. So Alan John Fenter will realize that and possibly look to pounce earlier on so that he can use his ability in the gearbox to get ahead of the Kawasaki and maybe away from Morné Caldenes, who's now putting pressure back onto him yet again here in the closing stages. 2.5 laps to go here in the Super GP heat number 2, and Alan John Fenter, Caldenes fighting hard.
Yeah, AJ would have got his pit board and he would see a +0, which means Morné Caldenes is right on his tail. And a couple of laps ago, that was at point +2. So AJ Fenter knows that he's got to get ahead of Greg Caldenes somehow. It's not easy passing Greg Caldenes. I mean, he's 3-time SA champion. Got a very fast Kawasaki under him, but at the moment that Kawasaki just lacking a little bit now with grip compared to the Yamahas just ahead of him. And AJ Fenter is going to try and line up a move now around the outside on the inside, not close enough there. I think AJ's bet is maybe turn 1, that chicane where we saw him put a move. Otherwise down the back straight where Michael White made the move on Greg. But you can see Greg in 2 laps that he's been passed by Michael White, unable to hold the pace of the 2 Yamahas. Michael White now chasing down Carrick Flock for that 2nd position.
Michael White looking very good at the moment. 52 7s out of White, 52 3s out of Garrick Flock. So it's very evenly matched in terms of lap times. Michael White's got to find something special here in these last 2. Sella about to go across the line and start his penultimate lap. 14 of 15 for Clint Sella on the Marway Yamaha. And there goes 2nd place Garrick Flock. Right on his tail is Magic Mark. And Magic Michael White now gone 53-2, 53-4 from Flock. So it's chopped and changed in terms of fastest laps. There you go, closing in from AJ on Greg Caldenes in the chicane as we expected. And Morné Caldenes now looking to use the same kind of line. AJ looks straight back at him and goes, come on, you got to work with me here. We cannot afford to take each other out. We've got to find a way past this Kawasaki in front of us.
Now just looking, it's still Clinsella out front. He's got a 7.1 second gap over Carrick Flock in second, Michael White in third. And Carrick Flock, has he picked up a Super GP podium before? I think he has. Remember that year on the Kawasaki?
Yes, he has.
Where he was the only rider to challenge Clinsella here that 1 year. Where
he actually beat Sella here.
Close.
Yeah, he actually beat Sella here.
So Carrick Flock looking to get himself on the podium for a long time. He hasn't been there for a while. Chopped and changed between machinery. He's been on the Kawasaki. He's been on the BMW and seems to be getting his feet now on that new Yamaha machine. Of course, Wayne Shelley, they're doing a great job to give Carrick Flock the machine that he can do this and be on the podium. But AJ Venter still can't find a way ahead of Greg Caldenes. He'll have 1 lap after this to do it. So he's really going to have to start turning the wick up a little bit if he wants to grab that 4th position away from Greg.
He's winding that Yamaha. There's no doubt about it. He's working the Yamaha to its limit and probably over the limit that it's expected to do. But he just can't find a way through. And as you said, with a 3-time back-to-back SA champion in front of you, it's not going to be an easy task. He's going to have to use all the experience that he's gained, not only in racing in South Africa, but also road racing around the world to find a way through here on Double G. AJ is right there. And with 2 corners and 1 lap to go, it's now or never time.
It is. I just don't know where he's going to do it, though. The first section of the track, he looks really good, but he's going to maybe have to change his tactics a bit. Second part of the circuit, you can see Greg Caldenes has a really good turn of pace, so he's able to get the Kawasaki stood up and drive it out of the turns. Temba Kumalo, fastest lap of his race so far, 55.1, so that's a great ride there in 12th place. Garrick Flock looking very comfortable in race number 2. Impressive ride this from Garrick Flock. Pole position for the first time in race number 1. Didn't make it count, unfortunately crashing out. This is the man he's trying to catch. So Clinsella, another 50 points in the bag. That's 4 races in a row. Someone's now got to challenge this guy going down to Desi.
Not going to be easy to do, that is for sure. So back marker is going to come into play now as Sella gets into some of the back markers. 17.
Neil Mayring.
Neil Mayring is the next rider up. I don't think it'll be too much of a concern for Sella. He'll probably wait and not jeopardize his position that he's got. He's got enough seconds in hand to give Mayring a chance. There you go,
riding.
Nicely done.
Yep.
Moves out the way, sees the blue flags, gives Sella some room, and allows the leader through. So Sella now got to just take it all the way to the line. Second place, Flock, comfortable. About 2 seconds up the road. But Magic Mike still with a shot. And look at that, Sella gets a chance to look over his right-hand shoulder, across at the circuit, coming up from the dog bone, and realizes that he's got enough to play and take it easy to the line.
How impressive is Clinsella. Just when you count him out after last year, finished 3rd in that championship, made a lot of mistakes last year, it has to be said, especially here at Red Star where he chucked it into the scenery a couple of times. Came back fitter, stronger, healthier, everything this year. The Neo Life products coursing through his veins and doing an incredible job for his new sponsor, MyWay. Great to have them on board and fire it up on that helmet, because Clinsella has certainly fired it up in the last couple of races, and he's going to have a comfortable championship lead now coming into the final stages of this championship. Could be SA Championship number 5.
Yeah, double as well for the 2 victories in a row. 2 wins at Kyalami, 2 wins here at Red Star Raceway, and just showing potential for another number 1 plate, as you said, Rob. And he's a happy man. He's not going to get up on the wheel. He's going to just make it all good in the hood for the MyWay Yamaha team. Garrick Flock hangs on. What a ride from the Wild Child. Comes through for a 2nd place, and that's great for him. Michael White right on his tail. Greg Caldenes hung on to keep out AJ. Morne Caldenes comes through for 6th place. And just behind them, it should be Brandon Good, Lance Isaacs, David McFadden. And Darren Upton might hang on for a top 10 finish with that very ailing Kawasaki of his.
Yeah, the other riders are going to have to sit now and scratch their heads and wonder how they are going to beat Clinsella. Greg is going to head down to the podium. So once these riders get in, he'll catch up with the top 3 in the Super GP class and, of course, the Super Masters as well. But I think one of the questions has to be there. How is anyone going to stop Clinsella? Another double victory. Garrick Flock, what an incredible ride from the bike number 64, man. Shop 74 sponsored, as well as Furcore and Diamond Drilling. Really is an impressive ride there. Pole position in race number 1. Made a big mistake there. Came back in race number 2. Didn't phase him. Past Greg Caldenes in the turn where he crashed. Picked up 2nd place. Michael White, another podium for the consortium shipping Yamaha rider. So his championship charge very much back on track, going for that 2nd in the championship. Let's go have a look now at the action replay and the highlights of race number 2. At the start, a much better start this time from Clinsella. Didn't balk it down as he did in race number 1. AJ Venter trying to go around the outside. Darren Upton with another incredible start from the 2nd row of the grid. Shoves it on the inside of AJ, who fought back very well. And Morne Caldenes, he was starting to make his way through the field. Watch this move. He just sticks it right on the inside of Brandon Good. Unfortunately, had to sit up and lost all the drive there. So Morne Caldenes, a man on a mission here at his local track. Michael White also making the move through here. Garrick Flock, he was coming through now. AJ Fenter, look at the pace that the man carries through the first section of the track. On the inside of Garrick Flock, unfortunately just sacrificing a little bit of drive, and Garrick Flock able to fight back. Greg Caldenas held that second position for quite a long part of the race, but unfortunately coming out of the left-hander, Garrick Flock getting great drive. This is where he crashed in race number 1, but still had the confidence to shove it on the inside there of Greg Caldenas, as did Michael White on the inside there of AJ Fenter. So Yamaha rider up into second, making it Clint Seller 1. This is the bike that they were all trying to beat. Clint Seller, bike number 3, My Way Yamaha, Neo Life backed, and he is the man now, not only to beat today, but in the championship. Going for title number 5, he came across the line, 50 points in the bag. Garrick Flock, a tremendous second place there. Michael White, the battle was on track between Greg Caldenas, AJ Fenter, and Mornay Caldenas. In the end, it was Greg Caldenas that held on for that 4th place, just ahead of AJ, with Mornay in 6th. Further down, if we look at our Super Master category, it was indeed Johnny Kricker picking up the double win for the day there, just ahead of Justin Gillison, Bo Levy, Ferdinand Frederick with a much better ride there in 17th, Neil van Lockenberg 18th, Neil Mayring in 19th, and unfortunately Heinrich Reder having to retire with some kind of issues there on his BMW in 20th. As we see now, the riders are heading into pit lane. They will head straight down to the podium position, the podium ceremony there, the Diode-sponsored podium ceremony there, where Greg Maloney will catch up with our top 3 in the Super GP and the Super Masters.
Otherwise, that would be just a waste of money. Well done there. Fortunately, he's allowed to do burnouts here. You're not allowed to do burnouts on the track because that's Jacques van Wijngaard's rule, but there is a burnout section that he built for everybody. It wasn't potentially right outside here, but needless to say, we get a burnout anyway. Those tyres have worked hard today. They really have been put to the test and have come out trumps. There's no doubt about it. Maintaining grip just enough to get these riders to the end of their race day. It's an all Yamaha podium, which is nice to see here for the Yamaha taking the manufacturer's award if there was one. So impressive stuff coming out of, first of all, Clint Seller, 2nd place, Garrick Flock, and 3rd place, Michael White, once again on the podium for Consortium Shipping and Manacol and the Ridgeway race bar. So we're going to get the bikes in here first, and then we'll run through. It's quite a long podium ceremony. We got 3 riders on Super GP, 3 master riders to get through. And it looks like Garrick's bike just made it here before it overheated. Had to work hard out there. All right, so you're just going to get those Pirelli caps onto these riders and then call them up one at a time, starting with 3rd place for the... I saw that, Brad, don't worry. The Consortium Shipping, Yamaha, Manacol, and Ridgeway Race Bar team. Magic Michael White, let's have him up on 3rd place. Let's hear it for you, buddy. You can make noise, ladies and gents. It's the final podium. Don't be scared. 2nd place, doing a great job for Shop 74 and the Diamond Core Drilling team on a Yamaha as well. So it's an all Yamaha podium, as I said. Let's hear it for the wild child, Garrick Flock. And once again, the top of the podium. It's difficult to beat this man anywhere around the country by the looks of things. Riding out of the Near Life, Onassis Racing, Sun International, My Way Yamaha team, Evil Knievel, Clint Seller. Firing it up again. Nicely done. So our team from from the Bridgewater Logistics are going to be handling. There's a gazillion of them here. Quentin brought his entire family and their entire family and their entire family as well. Adrian Scholz from MSA. Thank you, guys. Good to have the 2 boss men here from Motorsport South Africa, making sure we do things right. Did we get it right today, Wayne? Thanks, bud. Just wanted to double check. And Yako. Thank you so much, bud. You'll take out 1st place there. Congratulations. Right, before you do the champagne ceremony, just hang tight because we've got 2 riders that are going to join you up there. First of all, it's our KTM rider of the day, and hopefully he is here. He's unfortunately not been able to make it here, but we're going to ask his friend, William Friend, to accept on his behalf and take the trophy for Tyrese Roberts, KTM Rider of the Day. So, William, you can go up there on your Suzuki shirt and accept the KTM Rider of the Day. We like to keep it in the family amongst all the manufacturers. And then the Bridgewater Logistics rider of the day with an incredible effort out on track. Is Rion going to hand out? Rion's going to hand that out. Thanks, Rion. Magnificent effort there. He had 2 pole positions, 2 wins, and got very close to the outright lap record for the 250 Cup. Let's hear it for Luca Bologna, coming out of the High-Tech Racing Kawasaki stable. Is Luca here? Did Luke find him? I hope he did. We did send for him, and hopefully he's going to be here. All right, we'll call him up a bit later on. Let's get these guys to enjoy their champagne. If he gets here, we'll get him up a bit later on. So you better get out the way because they're going to go crazy here. Go, guide. Have fun. Spray some champers. So there you have it. Are you quite done? Yes, they're quite done. Let me sneak in there quickly. So, right. Magic Mike, get on down here, bud. Or you're going to quickly get a photo of all the photos are done. Oh, okay, we got Luca here. So, Luca, hang tight there, Luca. We'll do it with the Masters. We'll do your award with the Masters. So, Michael White, there you go. 2 podiums on the day. That's a little bit better than what we saw at Kyle Army. And definitely potential for the next round down at Daisy's Raceway.
Yeah, you know, we battled a bit yesterday, and we knew we had the tie life. So the second race, I learned a bit from the first, so I thought I'd just wait a little bit and save my tires. And unfortunately, I waited a bit too long. So I saw the guys in front of me battling, and AJ sort of pulled us to them, but it just wasn't enough. And by the time I got there, the tires were dead. So I'm happy to settle for 3rd. It's good points for me. I think I'm actually climbing in the championship now. So I'm happy. Maybe in Daisy we can do a double.
Looking forward to that. Well done. Good day and good day's racing. Let's move across to the Wild Child. What did you get to? Come on in, Flocky. Haven't seen you up here for a while, bud, but it's been a long time and certainly a lot of effort being put in from your team's point of view. Just come this way a little bit so we got a bit of branding in the background. After a very hectic outing at Swartkops, things didn't go quite according to plan there. And, of course, race 1 with going down with potentially winning the race. It's a good turnaround and nice to be back on the podium.
Yeah, we've been working with the setup, and Wayne's forced me to ride the bike in a different way, and it's starting to work for me. So hopefully from here we can go better at the next race meetings.
You certainly don't have a choice when Wayne says you have to ride the bike like this, do you?
No, not really.
Well, good effort, and hopefully this is more of the same coming in the very near future when we head down to Desi.
Yeah, hopefully we went and did some testing at Desi, and it's a lot better that we've got set up there, so hopefully there we can place on the podium again.
Good job. Well done to the team as well. Good effort. Clint, where did he disappear to? There he is. Don't go too far. I'll get you on this side of me. Dude, another phenomenal effort from your side, but that's how Clint Seller rides. Just in future, that's how you ride.
Yeah, to be honest, my way Yamaha was incredible today. Even when I messed up the start in the first heat, I could just relax and know that the weapon underneath me is world class, so I can go ahead and do what I got to do. But yeah, that was an awesome one. I put my head down. I got a good start. You see, I can do it. I remembered. But yeah, it was incredible. You know, Martin Pressel's built suspension here that is. There's honestly some stages where I think, gone in too hard, and then the bike turns and fire it out. So, yeah, fire it up. So, yeah, we absolutely, you know, it's an impressive weapon I have, impressive team that I get to work with every race weekend, and I think that definitely shows in the effort and the results we can get.
2 double victories in a row. That's definitely confidence inspiring for Daisy's Raceway.
Yeah, I enjoy Daisy's. It's hectic, but I really enjoy that track, and it's very much a rhythm track. So yeah, we just get our rhythm and have some fun. As I say, I'm blessed with the team and motorcycle that I have. So let's keep the ball rolling.
Good job. We look forward to it. Congratulations once again. Let's get our masters up on the podium quickly as well, ladies and gents. Okay, cool. And who are the top 3? Johnny, 1, 2, 3. Third place in the Masters for the Superbets BMW. Let's get Justin Gillison up here. Great effort from his side to turn things around there. Didn't have quite the race 1 you wanted, but race 2 went well. Second place, Bu Levy, once again, up on the podium for us in second. And can you believe it? Alan John Fent is going to be kicking himself. Other way around. Okay, there you go. So third, second. Sorry, I was told the other way around. There we go, no problem. So let's get that right. Bu Levy in third, Justin Gillison in second. But first place, no change there for Johnny Cricker. It's been a lacquer day's racing for Lacquer Racing. Well done there, boys. There you go, our top 3 in the Masters. Third place, looks like it's going to be Raymond Beeston from Pirelli, handing third place there to Bulevy. Mrs. Lee Watson from Diode will hand out second place to Justin Gillison from the Superbets BMW team. Tim Cook will be handing out first place. Oh, no, other way around. Okay, so we're changing around there. Tim Cook will hand first place out to Johnny Cricker. And Mr. Stephen Watson will be handing out, first of all, the BMW Rider of the Day. Is that correct? So Stephen Watson, that can go to Justin Gillison. And then I'm going to ask, yes, he is. Jaco's still here. Mr. Bologna, thanks for joining us. You can join them on the podium. But Rider of the Day for the Bridgewater Logistics Trophy, that goes to Luca Bologna for a double victory in the 250 Cup. And there's your trophy there, handed out by the big family from Bridgewater Logistics. They brought everybody. There's about 50 trucks parked outside there. So if you can't get home today, you'll understand why. Thanks, guys. Well done. Congratulations. Don't go too far away. I want to catch you after this. So, ladies and gents, there's your Masters and your 250 and Bridgewater Rider of the Day there. Congratulations, guys. Enjoy the champers. Thanks a lot.
Have to win.
Good job. We'll see you soon. Jesse, big guy. Man, I was like, I couldn't believe what happened in that first one.
In the first race, it was a case of just trying to avoid a rider, and I probably overcompensated a bit and ended up on the grass, which is slippery as all hell. So I just woke up on the floor. That was that. Then in this race, started well, and was just everything was together, everything was right. Then at about I'd say lap 9. I felt this tire was, the rear tire was saying no, there's nothing left here. And then twice I actually lost the bike. The rear wheel came past and I had to save it. And there was no competing with Johnny there. He's super strong, the Yamahas are good. So thank you to my team, thank you to the Ferreiras, Superbets, BMW. It's awesome. Thank you for a great weekend. Thank you.
Looking forward to the next round now down at Desi's Raceway?
Yes, I am. I've never ridden there, but I hear good things. So I think we need to work on some setup, and it'll be a good race, definitely.
Well, we look forward to a good race and good turnaround on the day. In you come, Johnny. I'll keep you on your own this time because you deserve to be on your own this time. We're not even going to call in that fast rider that's potentially fast. But he wasn't that quick. He was still in 4th place, but just missed the podium again. But needless to say, it's a great day's racing for the Lacquer team and for Hygienica Racing.
Yeah, thank you, Rick. Nice to be on top of the podium twice, both races today. Ended off well. Tyre held up better this race than did the first race. Managed to catch Justin. The tyre problems, and managed to pass him.
So the way things are going to go, you basically consolidate the points as much as possible with both the championship leaders in this category out. Hendrik didn't make it. Heinrich had some problems of his own, so all of a sudden the championship is now closed down for your side.
Yeah, Greg, it was the 2 wins is good because I missed the second race at East London. But yeah, with the top contenders being out, it's close up front again, so yeah.
We'll see you in Desi's Raceway then. Good luck and well done again. Luca, final interview, buddy. Come on in here. It was a great day's racing for you. You don't normally get up to the podium with the 250 Cup, but needless to say, the effort that you put in was recognized, and big congratulations on the Bridgewater Logistics Rider of the Day. 2 race wins. Tough day in the saddle. It wasn't easy.
Yeah, it was a hard day from start. I didn't do warm-up because it was cold, but the first race was harder than I thought. The tire was wearing quite bad, but the second race came together. Start was a bit wild, but yeah, thanks.
Lap times dropped dramatically in the second race as well, which was good to see. So it showed that track temperature was up and things look good. Heading to the next round, you're looking forward to potentially going to a little bit closer to wrapping this championship up.
Yeah, I'm hoping to win again maybe a double, just to wrap it up earlier, and hope to win.
Awesome stuff. Congratulations once again. Rob Portman, come on in here, bud. Another incredible day's racing here at Red Star Raceway, and I think things are boding well for the future of the sport. We've seen how good it's been. The step-up process is working, no doubt about it. The way things are going from the NSF 100s into the 150, our 250 Cup has been exceptional, into 390s, 390 riders going to 600s. It's how it's supposed to be.
I was just talking to Martinez from the Lekker Racing Squad, and I haven't seen Red Star this busy for a national race in a long time. So SuperGP and Dio are doing something right. Today's racing, again, world class. In all the categories, and like you said, a great stepping stone. We've got every category covered just about, and we're producing champions. We've proved that with the Binder brothers. We've proved that with Darren Larrera doing what he's doing with Shares, and the only thing that we have to do here is someone has to somehow beat a certain Mr. Clinsella. I think I can.
I think there's a possibility we need to find you a ride, and there's a couple of rides out there. Hey? But anyway, it's great to have him on the commentary with me all day long and bring you all the action here at Red Star Raceway. We head down to Desi's Raceway in the middle of July. Make sure that if you're on the South Coast during the holiday time, come and join us there. We're going to be in for some phenomenal racing down there. It really is a track that brings out a special type of rider, and we're looking forward to bringing you all that action at the next round of the Dio SuperGP Champions Trophy.